Welcome to Inside the Skev, and I'm your host, Aaron Masliansky. Today, we are joined by Jennifer Engel, the market manager for the Skokie Farmers Market. The Skokie Farmers Market began on June 5th of this year and will be open every Sunday from 7:30 to 12:30 through November 6th. They feature many longstanding vendors as well as some exciting new ones. And the mission of the Village of Skokie's Farmers Market is to provide a platform to bring nutrient-dense produce to all members of the community while supporting local farmers and the local community in Skokie. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I think farmers markets are so much fun, and Skokie and Evanston both have them. But Skokie, I want to get into it, learn about how it started, how you got involved. And I think it's so important that we have these farmers markets so we can focus on nutritious food. We've gone through the past couple of years where health has been such a front and center for everybody. And I think what you eat is a huge component of that. So I'm glad that we have these types of markets to really get people to think about that. So tell us a little bit about the farmers market in Skokie. What is it like, and what are the vendors that you have?
Sure. So the great thing about the Skokie Farmers Market is that it is on Sundays. A lot of the other area farmers markets are on Saturdays. So that, gives folks in the region just another, option, to get their fresh produce and whatnot on the weekends. The Skokie Farmers Market, I've grown it exponentially this year. We have approximately 12 new vendors. Sometimes that's even more on a given weekend. But the Skokie Farmers Market is really focused on fruits, vegetables. They have a lot of artisans, with baked goods. We pull from Michigan, Wisconsin, and Illinois. We do have one from Iowa. So we do pull regionally, but we do have we try to support, Illinois as much as we can. But the vendors that I inherited have always been from the region. So, we've kind of kept that, like that.
And are the vendors, do they go to several different farmers markets within the area?
Yeah, I do have probably between 5 and 8 that are at multiple other markets in the region.
And so that's another advantage of being open on Sunday, because if a lot of them are on Saturday, it allows them to come to Skokie and service people who don't drive and do things on Saturday for religious reasons. So it's a great option for the community.
100%. Yeah.
And what types of, like you said, fruits and vegetables? I mean, for people who haven't been to a farmer's market, what other types of things do you have there?
We also have flowers. You can get fresh herbs, fresh spices. You can get olive oils. You can get honey, maple syrup. Honey is a big thing. Everyone loves our honey vendors. You can get baked goods. You can get eggs. You can get meat. Depending on what's going on with the growing season, will depend on, obviously what we're having right now in August is different than what we had in June.
Sure.
So right now, I'm seeing more, tomatoes and corn and squashes, and melons versus, that was not, those items were not ready at the beginning of the season. So the beauty of the farmer's market is, it's never the same stuff every weekend.
Right.
Just because of depending on what's growing, within the season.
So you have this variety and whatnot, but so where does it take place? Tell us about that, and
Sure.
When did it start?
Sure. It takes place in Village Hall at 5127 Oakton Street, right in between Village Hall and the Skokie Public Library. I've been this is my first year as the farmers market manager. Last year, I was the assistant manager, and I took a beautiful certification class earlier this year through the Illinois Farmers Market Association to be a certified farmers market manager. And what that really helped me out with in terms of programming, in terms of what other elements you need to have with your market to create a successful market for your community, to give back to the community, and also just to be, make sure that your vendors and your farmers are all taken care of, marketing wise, and also with other supports. This year, one of the bigger things that we've added, which I thought was key, once a month we do a big community drive, which is folks have been donating canned goods, school supplies, clothing, toiletries, and those all go back to the community. 2 weeks ago, we had over 60 bags of clothing that was donated. So folks come to the market, they, donate their goods, and then they go and shop and, see all of the vendors. It's just a whole circle, just a really great thing.
It brings the community together. Is that why you wanted to be the manager there? I mean, what got you thinking about farms and farmers markets?
I have a farmer's market at my house. I'm an avid gardener. So it was just very natural to me. We have a family farm outside of Chicago that is very fond and dear to me. So I felt like it was, kind of in my blood. And I like talking. The farmers Sundays are one of my favorite days of the week. I just love hanging out with my farmers market crew because they're just good people, and I want to help them, with their farm and, marketing their business.
Well, you're such an important member of the community. I mean, in addition to this, you're also the membership and advertising director for the North Shore, the Visitors Bureau. And, you're able to talk the talk about what it's like to live in this area and bring it together. And I think that's, so special, and probably you bring that enthusiasm to the market, and the vendors and everybody can see that. What was it like? I mean, you've been the manager there for a year, but was it open during 2020, or, how long has it been going on for?
This market's been going on for a gazillion years. It did not shut down over COVID. They temporarily moved it and did, COVID procedures for 2 markets. And now, we're back at the original location at 5127 Oakton Street. So, it was very important to the village to always keep the market going. And they did that during the pandemic. So now we're at full speed, if not, above where we should be. So, yeah.
Does the farmers market do anything with the Talking Farm, which is also in Skokie?
We do. Talking Farm is with us every other week, and then Orchard Village, also in Skokie, is with us. They're with us once a month.
I've had the Talking Farm on the show and, gone through what they do there, but what is Orchard Village? I'm not familiar.
They help teens. They're a non-for-profit. They support nearly 300 individuals. And they have a little farm, families with disabilities and developmental disabilities, delays. They grow, and then they sell their goods at the market once a month.
I think they may have to be a guest on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to have them on. I mean, I think that's a great mission, and it's be great to be able to share more of their story.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our supporters. Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to First Class Moving and Storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to First Class Moving and Storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number 1, stclassmovers.com.
Hi, I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search. From immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses, my clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com. What's your favorite part about the farmers market?
The people.
Yeah.
The people. So last year, when I was the assistant, I was running the SNAP program, which is the food stamp program. Every week, we allow, through programs and grants through the state, folks that use their link card can come to the booth. And last week, if they spent $20, we gave them $40. So we're giving them an additional $20 to go and spend, at the farmers market, to help them supplement their food stamps. And I just got to know a lot of them are older folks, and to see all of them come back this year, everybody remembers me, and just seeing the people at the farmers market. I've developed a relationship with the farmers, and now, all of the customers. I think that that's key. And just also hearing what people wanted last year. So I was able to pivot and make changes for what we had at the market this year. So we added more vendors. I knew I needed new farmers. I knew I needed some new, produce. I knew I needed some more variety. I needed more of this or that. And hearing, chatting with people every Sunday and listening to them, I was able to learn all of that.
That's instant feedback. I think that's like what's so important. And then you're giving a better experience for everybody there. And sometimes the perception of farmers markets are that they are more expensive. And if you look at it, they are. You go to the grocery store, the price might be half. So I guess one thing I think is important, that you do accept SNAP, so that it opens it up to everybody. So people who may not be able to afford it. But why is it typically more expensive to buy food at a farmer's market than at the grocery store?
So that farmer is paying for labor and gas to get from Michigan to Skokie. That farmer has more costs because it is such a smaller crop compared to what you're going to find at the grocery store. Mm-hmm. So there's more added costs into their products. But I will tell you that most of my raspberries that are at the market were picked within a couple of hours of getting there. I know that for these farmers are getting up at 1-2 o'clock in the morning to load their trucks to bring them to Skokie and to be in Skokie at 5 a.m. And I greet them at 5 a.m. every Sunday morning in the lot. We all have coffee and we set up.
You need that.
we definitely need that. So there's, buying local, there's usually a lot less pesticides. There's, the growing process is completely different. It's always going to be more expensive to buy local than to buy at the grocery store. There's no doubt about it. But when you're buying local, you're supporting a farmer. You're supporting, the economy in a different way.
You're supporting a more mom and pop type of the industry rather than a larger conglomerate, and you can see the impact that you have on the individual people, right?
100%.
Yeah. And I think that I've had several episodes in regards to this and local food. And you learn just a lot about it and the different types of pesticides that are on these large factory farms can't be good for you. Yeah. And I'd say also there's a part to the experience of shopping and meeting the farmer and being there and being able to see it. And it is much fresher. It's
100%. They'll cut you open a peach and let you taste the peach before, you buy 10 peaches. Like, you can't get that at the grocery store.
No.
There's just more of a personalization to, to buying from a local farmer.
Yeah. Do you ever think about like where they have something in the winter, for winter crops and having it indoor?
I am highly considering doing a winter market. I just don't have all of my corn stalks in a row yet.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
That's a good way to put it.
I had to think about that for a second, but yes, no, the Village of Skokie is open to it, and it's something that we are exploring to try and support folks year round versus just from June through the beginning of November. So stay tuned on that one.
No, that would be great. I mean, and keep it going. So the other communities, many of them around here do have farmers markets. Do you ever coordinate with them and how you market together or buy together?
No, a lot of us took the class together earlier this spring. I know a lot of the other market managers through my professional job and, through just being on the North Shore as long as I have. But there's really no cross marketing. Again, I'm the only one that has Sundays on the North Shore. So everybody else is fighting for Saturdays, and I'll let them duke that out.
Yeah, for sure. They have a lot of competition together. It's just it is tough, but I think as a member of the public, it's kind of fun to go to like the different ones and see what's going on, and they all have something a little different.
Yeah, and we all go and see each other's markets, and and I've been to several, and it's okay to ask one of my vendors to go to yours. I'll ask my vendors. It's there's no competition there, like in terms of sharing vendors.
Right. Well, because you all want to support each other, I guess, in a way, and support the mission of it to bring healthy food to everybody. And there's more than that. There's processed food, baked goods, things like that. Are there also meats and cheeses and things like that?
Yeah, so I do have a couple vendors that sell meat. I have several vendors. I have 3 or 4 vendors that sell fresh eggs. I do have just one cheese vendor, the cheese people. I have a mushroom vendor. I have a fish vendor. I have a gentleman that just sells coffee beans. I have a couple different, I have several bakeries. I have the coffee truck this year. Soul Good Coffee is with us, and we're very excited about that.
Oh yeah.
And then I usually have 3 to 4 different artisans that are selling either jewelry or bags or something along those lines at the market. So
yeah, I have the Inside the Skev Facebook group that's new. It's been out for, I've had it going for a few weeks, and more people are joining. And if you're listening to this and you want to get part of that conversation, please join. I'll let you in. But I posed the question, what types of questions do you have about the farmers market for Jennifer? And, so one of the questions I had was about the prices. Another, again, was with the processed foods. Do you have foods that are kosher that are available as well?
I think that the pickle guy, I think that those are kosher. I'd have to go back through. I think one bakery might be kosher style, but that's definitely something that I can look at.
Yeah.
For next season.
I think that would be a great, you'd meet a good portion of the market.
100%. Yeah. And it's just, I do go through the beginning of the season. I start sourcing vendors in January every year. And you'd be amazed. I reach out to different vendors and stuff that some people just don't call me back. And then you get into mid-season and everybody wants to be a vendor and I'm sold out of spaces. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah,
but no,
really. Yeah. And do you have music? Do you have bands that come and play?
I do. Every weekend I have something going on. Every weekend there's music. Every weekend I try to do some sort of kids element. Whether last weekend they were painting flower pots. This weekend I think they're making clothespin creatures. I try to make it more of a family affair. We also have had yoga, Zumba. I do produce a calendar. The August calendar should be out now. And then for times, always just check social media. Everything is weather dependent because, the outdoor market. But we always have several different elements going on. And I do that because I do want it to be a community event. Last weekend we had a great band and folks, sat and, ate their strawberries and listened to the band and had a cup of coffee. And, it was beautiful.
That sounds amazing. I mean, it's like when you watch a travel show, and if you live in Skokie and you're going to the farmers market or, any of these types of places, it's almost like you're traveling, but you're here in your local community. There's so many different things that we can take advantage of. My wife and I have been talking, like, should we go on a trip or something? And it's like, there's so much right here that you just, for the past 2 years, have really been tough to go and do. And it's nice to get reacquainted with what you have in your own backyard.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And I think you probably understand that more than anybody, given your other job too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I think that as a general, I don't really travel outside of Chicago during the summer for various reasons, but that's because there's so much to do here this time of the year. There really is. So, get out there and explore it.
Absolutely. And, everything that you talked about here with the calendar for different events and whatnot, I will have a link for your website in the show notes on the Village of Skokie's website. So anybody will be able to get that information. And you talked about rain. What do you do if it rains? Is it open or closed, or how does that work?
That depends on the severity of the rain, because that's a whole big thing. Like 2 weekends ago, we had drizzle for the first 2 hours, and people, believe it or not, they still came out and shopped. And then it stopped, and then people came. Like it has to be really severe before we're going to cancel a market.
Yeah.
So the market does go on, rain or shine.
Well, it is a farmer's market, and I think farmers are used to rain for sure. Yeah. So just to reiterate, it is Sunday morning, 7:30 to 12:30 through November 6th. And maybe a little bit past that. We're going to find out if what's going to be going on, right?
Sure. Yep. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And, again, so if somebody, though, I will have it in the show notes, but if somebody's looking for most up to date, how should they find you on social media?
We're on Facebook, Skokie Farmers Market. We're also on Instagram. But if folks really have a question, email me at farmersmarket@skokie.org. That's the best way to reach me. And I can, get anything answered from there.
That's great. Well, I think it's so much fun. I'm planning to attend this Sunday. I can't wait.
I'll be there.
And then the one after and the one after. So it's just a great thing to do. But Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you.